I'm Dr. Alan Badeau, and welcome to AI Today. Here we're exploring AI's potential and its ethical challenges. Thank you for being here as we journey into the heart of AI, its innovation, and we're catering to enthusiasts and the curious alike. I'm honored today to have Dr. Jay Lee, who is one of the world-renowned AI leaders in the manufacturing industry. Dr. Lee is an Ohio eminent scholar in advanced manufacturing, and he one of the original founders of Intelligent Maintenance System Center. And Dr. Lee is a senior advisor at McKinsey & Company. He's currently a professor at the University of Maryland, really emphasizing how AI can be integrated into industrial systems. Dr. Lee, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for the opportunity to share.
Yeah. So Dr. Lee, we know that the manufacturing world continues to get smarter, and it's getting faster and much more efficient than it was previously, thanks to the power of AI. And really from a revolution, a visionary perspective, what are your thoughts on how we have transformed over the last 15 years?
Well, if we speak the manufacturing industry in general, a broad type of manufacturing industry from metalworking, aerospace, electronics, and bio in general, right? So there are different stages of a transformation, I would say, right? So I think for the last two decades, in particular for the last 15 years, I think people learn how to transform from experience-based productivity to evidence-based productivity. By that saying that, we started using data more than 20 years ago. 20 years ago, if you can rewind our memory tape back in 2000, there's no phone can connect to internet, right?
That's right.
BlackBerry and those days. Even before 2000, 1999, dot-com collapsed, right? So we're talking about all the e-commerce. So really the mobile devices and the year 2004, 2005 until last 10 years, we start using lots of industrial internet, lots of cloud. Cloud actually started early year 2010, roughly, right? So edge device, those things start making the data become more usable, not just useful, right? So that's how they accelerate the digital transformation for the last 15 years, I would say, right?
Yeah. That's great. And I assume, Dr. Lee, that you had the same issues with the data that all of us have around data quality, let alone getting it there, but the data quality, the ability to leverage that. Do you think that really was the number one challenge, the quality and the data itself, or were there other issues that were even more challenging than just the data?
Well, in general, I call the data domain and discipline, 3D. What happened, the data is the source of information, could be from history, from domain, from sensor, from the field. But the problem is the purpose. The purpose is what we need, right? For example, we take the blood from people. The doctor says, do cholesterol test, diabetes test. It's a purpose. Each purpose you checked, they have to take the one drop the blood to run different tests, right? Same tube of blood, they will run different times. Cholesterol, diabetes, and hepatitis, all the things, right? So the purpose drive the testing process of blood. So same thing, if we take a data from machine, from manufacturing, what's the purpose? Normally efficiency, right? Cost, inventory, quality, and carbon reduction. There's a purpose very clear. So if I take data from SAP, Oracle, any sort of sensor, but you have to drive to the purpose. So therefore, the volume in the beginning say, I want everything. It's not true. If you know the purpose, you only select those data you needed for the relevant to the purpose, right? So you need a good volume, not high volume of data. Sometimes small, even better sometimes. But it has to be useful and usable. let's say we have a lot of data, useful data, but if we did not label them properly, later on, it's not usable, right?
Yep.
Just like we collect a lot of business card from the conference, but when I moved last year, I have no idea when did I collect this card, right? If you label, oh, this card from some special event, IEEE, this from some IMT show, give you a background of memory. If you don't have a label right on the card, the business card itself has no meaning, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The
Understand.
background label is very important. I call the 3B. Your background labeling, the baseline, are you comparing the same stuff or different stuff, right? And the brokenness of a data set from different time, different generation, you understand how to relate them to different product or different processes. So I call the 3B problems. But 3B relate to the purpose. That will make data more useful and usable, right? And not the value itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fantastic, especially with the audience we have around small businesses, and they have so much data, and sometimes they don't know where to start, where to begin. What advice would you give them on where to start with all of the data that they have?
Well, I normally ask people, right? So everyone would run a business with a clear purpose, I said, right? And the purpose, we know exactly what the problem we are facing. For example, our labor costs, quality issues that are not consistent, for example, or our delivery time always late. So these are the problems we're facing. If that's the case, you from right to left, you go back to the left side. What do I do to improve what I don't do well, right? So then I go to collect the data that can help me to do well, right? For example, quality. I do inspection and end of process, but I cannot control that. Every time I wait until something no good, I go back. I still don't know why. If that's the case, you need to find out what is the quality feature related to machine or assembly or grinding or whatever. So you have to understand the types, the decomposition of those quality issue, like family tree, like fishbone diagram, Pareto chart, to understand what are the quality issues are, then relate to what process, what machine, what individual who worked on. Once you have that ideas, I'm going to start collecting that when the product start making in machining or in grinding or in assembly, right? So you have to have that kind of basic knowledge done in order to understand the quality of data, right?
That's exactly right.
So you cannot just collect everything, then later on you say, let me do some improvement. You found out you spend most of the time handling the data, but you're not doing the real work to make your products. That's not right. Yeah.
Yep. And that makes perfect sense. And for our audience, if you don't remember what a Pareto chart is, ask ChatGPT and it'll show you some pictures around that. So if you think about, Dr. Lee, from really, and I get asked this question all the time, and I can only imagine that you saw it even more so than I have today from in the manufacturing world. We started to automate, right? And then we start to bring in AI. From an efficiency perspective and from a workforce perspective, what implications have you seen to the humans that used to have some of those jobs? And, from a skill set today, where do you see them?
Well, I think early years workforce, we had a pretty focused problem solving because we're trying to tackle the challenge. For example, quality issue during the 1980s, right? Remember those days? And we have automation system in place because like auto industry trying to deploy lots of automation to keep the quality, keep our production quality consistent, right? To have no supplies. So lean manufacturing came in later, right? So, you should do this to have a good baseline so you can monitor. So automation was the beginning of a system. But then some workers worry about jobs. Automation comes, may take my job away. But the problem is, if automation job to keep you as a productive, keep our product can be consistent, keep our product can be more reliable in the field. So the business, we can be making more money, more competitive, right? Then you keep your job. If our company cannot survive, where's the job come from? So first we have to survive, be competitive, so we can give a job to our people, right? So it's not about the work, about task. It's about competitiveness and about our core competency of industry. Once we keep that one, then our employee can be more resourceful. Now, second thing is after we start moving to a more global setting, and just manufacturing itself may not be the only reason we compete. We have to start managing our operation globally, supply chain and the spare parts worldwide with the product we sold, right? By doing that, we're not just have to be only us competitive. We have to work with a partner, suppliers globally or in a different region to keep our product more competitive, more sustainable, right? So the cost management become issue. Are we compete for time, for cost, right? Not just skill sets. But if I'm good, but my supplier not good, I have to fix their problems. Wow, that's a problem, right? So we need to start deploying how we managing those imbalance of skill sets, keep our product flow through from design to production to sales to installation to field services, keep the product life cycle ecosystem become more competitive, right? So eventually that set becomes not ourselves, but also managing that competitiveness through our supply chain, right?
Yep, so that's exactly right.
So we're moving managing our own people to managing our system, right? Eventually supply chain system. But tomorrow, we also see a big challenge that, hey, it's not just about us. How about our next generation? When they come to our job, can they do as good as we are, or can they do better than we did, right? So all the knowledge data we have, what can they do? Large language model, can they help us? Probably not too much. There's some maybe they can help for document management. For domain-centric system, we need to develop a large knowledge model, not language model.
That's right.
We need to categorize those work elements that has a critical impact to the job. So we can train the system, train the workers quickly to grasp, to capture those essence, right? So we can guarantee our company, our industry can be sustainable, different generation to come.
Yeah, and Dr. Lee, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. This was fantastic. Really quick, where can people get a hold of you?
Well, I have a website. I mean, my email is open. You can contact me by email or my website, iaicenter.com.
That's fantastic. Thank you again so much for being here. It was wonderful. We're going to take a short break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back soon to talk about how AI can be used in other fields such as cybersecurity and astrophysics. So come right back.
Thank you.
Hi, I am Noura Al-Masri, and welcome to Echoes of Impact with Noura. Join me on a journey where we celebrate the power of women in business, the driving force behind growing nonprofits, and the architects of change in our community. We'll explore strategies for building successful businesses, increasing cash flow, and saving on taxes. Tune in to Echoes of Impact with Noura, because when women succeed, we all thrive. See you there.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure, and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock-bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Welcome back to AI Today, and I'm your host, Dr. Alan Badeau. Thank you for coming back and being here. And in this segment, we're lucky to have Bruce Schneier, a renowned cybersecurity expert with decades of experience. And his blog is really phenomenal when it looks at the implications of cybersecurity incidences around these large language models, ChatGPT, and those sort of things. Thank you for being here, Bruce. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So from your perspective, and folks can see your blog, all they got to do is type in your name into Google, they'll be able to find it. But from your perspective, what is the biggest danger that the general public should be worried about from a large language model, ChatGPT, those sort of things?
Right now, I think our biggest risk is the fact that these are controlled by the large tech monopolies, that they are fundamentally massive technologies that are going to have a lot of effects on society, and they're just being controlled by a few for-profit tech monopolies. I think that's really worrisome, right? Same thing as search, same thing as social media, and making the mistake a third time with this even more influential technology feels really dangerous to me.
Yeah. And some of the advice that I've given to folks is that, if you can find an answer one day and then the very next day the answer is completely changed, then probably Mr. Wizard behind the curtain has flipped a filter switch.
Yeah, I guess I'm less worried about that. That's true on social media as well.
Yes.
That is true to some extent on search. So yes, these things make mistakes. So do your friends. So does everything else. The question is what kind of mistakes and how important they are in the context. But I'm really thinking more about the business models. Search is an integral to our life. We use it all the time, and the companies make money spying on you when you search and using that information against you. Right? That's the way they work. And your search engine knows you more intimately than your spouse, than your best friend, than probably your therapist. Certainly your iPhone does, right? Your smartphone knows you that intimately. And,
that's right.
Right. So these technologies are both important, intimate, and really not working entirely for you. And AI is going to be even more intimate. You're going to want to know everything about your life. It's going to be more relational. You're going to think of it as a friend. And to have it solely be run by the large tech monopolies is kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I'm referring to there. We have all the problems with the tech, but even before you can get to there, I have problems with the businesses.
So what advice would you have for a small business that feels as though they are falling behind from a technology perspective, and they want to start using these, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it's one of the other ones, whether it's Cohere or any of those models that are out there? What advice would you give them on how to safely go about using this tool?
Well, sort of step back. I'm giving advice to a corporate CEO who's feeling fall behind. So first of all, that is probably a therapy question, right? That's not necessarily a technical question. Why are you feeling you're falling behind? Because you're not using the cool thing. Do you need to use the cool thing? Because that's a secondary question. I want to use the tool. For what? You want to use it to order lunches for your employees? Go to town. Right? What are you using it for? And this is really important. I'm being a bit facetious, but you don't just use the technology, you use it for something. So what are you using it for? There are going to be applications where it's really good. There are going to be applications where it's not, and it depends. So what is the thing you want? Can the AI do that? AI is a great summarization tools, for example. So there are systems that attorneys use for discovery. Sometimes in these cases, you get 1 million documents. And I've been an expert with this. I know how this works. You do keyword searches on the documents. Well, now you can have an AI do a much richer search looking for things. Why would you not do that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
The cost of getting it wrong are zero, because you're going to look at what the AI gives you. If it gives you something wrong, so what? If it misses something, well, you're already missing it with your keyword searches. So that's sort of an unabashed good. Right? We've had AIs doing customer service. In Canada, they gave someone, I think, a $1 airfare. The airline went to court, and they were forced to honor it.
That's right.
I think someone else got a $1 car. They might not have actually bought the car, right? So the cost of mistakes is higher. So do you want it to do that? Well, it depends. You've now got to test it. And I assume a lot of your viewers have used some of these tools. They get stuff right. They get stuff wrong. You kind of learn where its sweet spot is. For a lot of my students, they use it in their writing for assignments. I'm all in favor of that. What I tell them is, it's your assignment, it's your grade. right? If you have the AI do it, you're responsible for all the facts. You're responsible for the references. You're responsible for, anything it says that's wrong, anything it says is inappropriate. It's your name on the document. I don't care how you create the document. It's yours. So, different applications are different things. You're using AI right now when you use Google Maps or Apple Maps. Cost of getting it wrong is, you took a little way longer going home. Not that bad. Now, having it prioritize your emails, maybe you don't want to do that. It is being used by Google to find spam. Again, the cost of getting it wrong is the spam in your email. Not that great. So it really depends on the application. So do not feel like I'm falling behind is a therapy question. Can I use this tool effectively in my business is a business question, and it depends on what the tool is, how you're using it, what the alternatives are, what are the costs, what are the benefits, are there adversarial conditions, sort of everything about it.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. A lot of the customers that I work with, we spend so much time on the upfront just trying to really focus on that and narrow that down because it really is an answer for just about everything because it can give you such a convincing answer that is so believable, but it's completely a lie, right? And so that's really fascinating for our
the AI
our
is
small
authoritative
businesses.
whether or not it's correct or not, right?
That's exactly right. And we've seen, I've had it write chocolate chip cookie recipes inside of my code that it was generating for me. So we've seen some very interesting things. Keeping with the small business theme, and I think this is really a fantastic question for you around, their inability, or at least some of their inability to really hire skill sets around AI, and some of these training methodologies, and the debate that continues to go on of, oh, do I get somebody from college? Is it somebody that's younger? Is it a whole different mashup of concerns? Do you feel as though just in general, folks are getting prepared to be able to use it a little bit more when they come out into the workforce? Or what's your advice for small businesses to look for those skill sets?
It's interesting, especially what the skill set is, right? If you want AI programmers, you can't have any because Google and Microsoft and Meta and, Apple have bought them all. They'll go down the road to MIT and hire every last one of them. I'm not exaggerating. It's very hard to find the best talent if you're not one of those, top 6 AI companies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Even we have trouble hiring professors because you make a lot less money than you do working at the big companies. But that's not what a small business wants, right? They want someone who can use the tools, not create the tools, not program the tools, but use them like out of the box. So it's kind of like finding, someone who's good at SEO, at search engine optimization. And there, I think people are a lot savvier. My students have all been playing with it, and they're not computer science students; they're policy kids. But they've been playing with the tools, and some of them are actually really good at writing prompts. So you're not going to get it as this is my job, but you will find a younger workforce that has more experience in them because they're doing it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Every high school kid is playing with Midjourney, right? They know how to create cool art using AI. You don't need to ask them.
That's right.
To them, it's like using a search engine. It's just what you do. So I don't think it's that bad. And that's because you're looking for users and not developers. If you are an AI startup, it can get hard. You've really got to, you got to pay crazy salaries and offer, crazy equity in order to get these people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And especially in the cybersecurity field, we have started to see really a convergence of cybersecurity specialists with AI. What are your quick thoughts around AI watching AI from a cyber perspective?
It's tough. It's some value. So I think of it where we normally hear it talked about is AIs that are being jailbroken, right? They're doing things that their designers didn't intend to. Latest one I read about is that if you ask it how to build a bomb, it won't tell you. But if you type the word bomb in ASCII art, it will. Like, this stuff makes no sense.
Yep.
So for that kind of thing, AIs aren't really good at monitoring AIs. And that's kind of a turtles all the way down argument, that the AIs that are doing the monitoring are subject to the same attacks that the AIs are, and you just can't get away from those attacks. So that's not going to work. Unfortunately, we'd like it if it did. More generally, AIs in cybersecurity, there's a gazillion startups. There's not a lot of like real successes yet, because I think this is hard. My guess is there is value to be had in AI on the defense in the near term, watching for like regular conventional cybersecurity attacks. And already we are seeing companies try to do that. Right, the RSA conference is in a couple of weeks. We're going to see all the startups there.
Yep.
But that really is still being looked at very early, and we don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. I tell small businesses that, there isn't one solution for everything for them, and they've really got to look at what they're trying to solve
Which is
for.
hard, because the smaller you are, the more you want one solution for everything. Right?
That's exactly
Why should
right.
I have to think about this?
Yep.
And this is hard, right? I mean, and a lot of these companies don't have CISOs, don't have the ability to do all the research.
That's right. Well, Bruce, where can people get a hold of you at if they have any questions?
I'm super easy to find. You type my name into Google and I show up. My email address is there. My website is there. My newsletter is there. I am surprisingly transparent.
Well, that's great. I appreciate you being here. It was wonderful. Great discussion. Thank you. I encourage the audience to go out, Google Bruce, and watch his website. He's got great articles up there.
I taught AI in my class. I mean, today was my AI class. So
that's awesome.
There are a bunch of policy students who are out ready to regulate this thing, I hope. We'll see what happens.
That's fantastic. Well, I appreciate you being here. Thank you again. And I'd like to, encourage the audience to stick around for our next segment around using AI and astrophysics. So we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Thank you.
Well, I want to watch that. That sounds good.
What if this happened to you when you're alone? Or what if it happened here? With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new CareWatch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The CareWatch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. The CareWatch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your CareWatch for free. Don't wait. Call us to get your CareWatch right now. Operators are standing by. Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure, and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock-bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Hi, my name is Michelle Merhar. You may remember me from the morning news. I'd like to tell you how getting data and documents into action fast gives you a competitive edge. Digital-first thinking to manage document workflows efficiently are giving all organizations a competitive edge. In fact, digital document automation is an essential process, helping us to become more profitable and to compete. By making any process paperless with secure automation, decisions can be made efficiently, virtually from anywhere. You'll be able to find and share documents securely in seconds. Your staff will be empowered by making optimal use of every office hour. And by the way, the size of your organization doesn't matter. Precision Products has been helping organizations for more than 30 years with paper to digital processes, including scanning systems for any document to premises and cloud document management systems. We make it easy and scalable for your business process needs from the office or other locations, even mobile devices. Contact us to see how we can help your organization succeed. Contact Will Waterall direct at 713-446-5939 and visit us on the web at precisionproductsinc.com.
Welcome back to AI Today. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Badeau. We're exploring AI's potential and its ethical challenges. In this segment, I get to nerd out a little bit, which is something I always love to do around looking at AI and how it's impacting our daily lives and the technology and how we can, use it to make our lives easier. I've always said that when a technology enters a couple of different spaces, then you can definitely tell it's definitely made it. The first one is cookware. For instance, I was at a conference a few years ago and I noticed a rice maker that had AI technology that would automatically cook 51 different variations of rice, and all you had to do was pour in the water and put in the rice. It's phenomenal. Same thing with video games. When video games start using certain technologies, then you can really see it start to take off. The same thing can be said about our smartphones. And, they're like myself, they're coupled to our hip, pretty much everywhere we go. We use it for pretty much everything that we do in our daily lives. And, one of the technologies I want to talk about today is called AI Eraser, and it's from OnePlus, and they are a smartphone manufacturer. AI Eraser it's a new feature on the OnePlus smartphone that uses AI to remove unwanted objects or people from your photos. It's similar to features on the Google Pixel like Magic Eraser, or Object Eraser on Samsung Galaxy devices. There's a whole bunch of different ones out there. If you're like me and you're on vacation and every once in a while you just happen to walk through a picture or stick your head up at the wrong time, and there's only no telling how many millions of pictures I am probably in that I've accidentally photobombed. But the great thing about AI Eraser is it can identify folks like me, remove things from those photos, including, again, of course, us photobombers, objects in the background, whatever it is, even if it's other distractions, and it can fill that gap and eliminate it, and it matches the rest of the photo. Now, I don't know if you're like me from an app perspective, but I've tried many apps, and I continue to struggle in finding the right ones. Sometimes I'll get rid of 3/4 of somebody's body, or sometimes it's the water that happens to magically stop at a certain area. A lot of these tools are not very easy to use, and a lot of them can be stressful on your iPhone from an app perspective. But this one really, it's fantastic, and it's designed to seamlessly remove those objects. All you have to do is really draw a couple of lines around it and hit erase, and it will take care of that. It will look at both the content as well as the context. And so it helps understand what the scene is and what really needs to be removed. And that's the fantastic part. There's only so many times that you want to keep editing your images, or you want to change the eye color, or if you want to get rid of a background tree that you think doesn't belong there, or somebody, of course, has photobombed you. This is a fantastic tool to do that. And the great thing is that it uses AI to intelligently generate a replacement of that background that blends perfectly into the rest of the image. I can't do that with, all the other photo editing software that I have out there and spend hours on. And being able to do it live with your phone is something that is extraordinarily, fantastic. And so let me just tell you really quick how you're going to be able to use it. So it's available again on the OnePlus Photos app inside of the smartphone. You select the photo, you tap edit, and then of course you hit the edit, and then you hit the AI eraser, and then you can choose between a couple of different modes. The first mode is the smart lasso tool, as I mentioned earlier, and you just trace around the object that you want to remove, or you can do a paint over, and that allows you to put a tool brush to it, and it will fix that automatically for you. And it's really developed around the user experience and the ability to easily and with such simplicity make the photo editing process seamless, and even for non-technical users and even the photo editing challenged like myself. Now, this isn't something that is available quite yet. I think by the end of the month, it's going to be ready to roll out in the OnePlus phones. But, you can get them on the OnePlus 12 as well as the OnePlus 12R right now. And, I know that there are other models that they will be releasing it, for. Now, again, there are some phones, though, that it will not work on. Of course, some of the older phones and some of the OnePlus pads and the Nord 3 5G phone is not going to be out there. But it's definitely a good reason to go get a new phone when it comes to that. Now, if you look at some of the competitors, of course, I mentioned Google's their Magic Eraser, as well as some of Samsung's feature sets, as well as some of the ones that are available on the iPhone. This is really significantly easier to use from my perspective. The learning curve was minutes as soon as I was able to get it running on my phone, hit the app, and I was editing some photos that I was playing around with exceptionally quick. Now, there's a couple of reasons. We always talk on this show about trying to save you time, about trying to give you a way that you can conveniently do things. And more and more people are developing websites and web apps around the smartphone utilization. They're taking photos with their camera phones so they can populate the website, continue to populate their store, potentially on Amazon, whatever that is. But this is exceptionally convenient, and it drastically simplifies the process. And we always say time is one of the things that you just can't give back. And every time you can do something better, faster, cheaper, and get a little bit of time back, that's definitely something that I think is important for folks. Now, also, it's built into the phone, and so you don't have to worry about going out to a store and grabbing something, or trying to update it, load it, whatever those other things are through a third-party app. It really gets rid of those complex, eternal marketing software requirements sometime. Now, the other thing to think about when you're looking at this is being able to provide image editing quality as well as an experience, and looking at the features that are critical to a user are going to continue to drive what the performance is and how you are using it. And so, as you're developing whatever that media is, whether it's your website or whether it's additional technology, I want you to think about, this is another tool that I can use as part of my AI arsenal to help me really save, time. AI Eraser is, it's intuitive, it's powerful, and, really it's creatively empowering folks that are using it every single day. And when you start to combine it with additional AI technologies, if you heard our segment earlier around, Midjourney or some of those other photo generating, applications, the combination of those then becomes pretty interesting in what you can do from a development of your avatars, from what you can do for your products and how you can make them look, as well as some other features that are exceptionally going to be important to you as you move forward. Now, looking beyond what some of these next generation technologies are going to look like on the smartphone side, it's really likely that the user experience with the phone is going to become more important than the technology within the phone itself. So, OnePlus has done a fantastic job really focusing on, how they can get to a solution for its user significantly faster and significantly cheaper. So keep that in mind. Try it, play around with it. If you have, if you're one of the lucky ones that has one of the phones that can get it, go grab it, use it, and let everybody else know how it's working. And I look forward to your comments that you have. Send them to me. Tell me what your experiences are with it, and I think you'll have a positive one, and really excited for you to be able to try it. With that, thank you, and we're going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back to talk about how AI can be used in astrophysics. Very exciting. Thank you.
Are you ready to shake up the world of health with me? Welcome to Disruptive Health, where we are flipping the script on traditional wellness. I'm Dr. Denise Brown, and on this show, we are diving deep into the latest trends and breakthroughs in health and wellness. Whether you're curious about nutrition, exploring new therapies, or just want to live your best life, Disruptive Health is your guide. Don't miss Disruptive Health, coming soon to NowMedia TV.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Welcome back to AI Today. I'm your host, Dr. Alan Bedell, where we are exploring AI's potential to use in a whole bunch of different areas, but we're also looking at some of the ethical challenges, and I appreciate you being here on our journey. Today, I have the pleasure to welcome Dr. Pamela Gay. She is a scientist who has been working in the field of astrophysics, and she's the director of CosmoQuest, which is bridging the gap between professional research and everyday space enthusiasts, which is a fantastic effort that's taking place. She has a podcast called Escape Velocity Space News. And from mapping the moon to analyzing stunning images that we see from the James Webb Space Telescope, Dr. Gay believes everyone can play a role in scientific discovery, and maybe even AI can. And that's where we're going to start. So, Dr. Gay, thank you for being here.
It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me on. The future of machine learning is near and dear to my heart. That's awesome.
As a space enthusiast, I remember, I did my senior thesis on the Ulysses spacecraft, and from wanting to be an astronaut when I was younger with a 2700 vision, I knew that wasn't going to happen as soon as I got a little bit older. But this is some of the some of the things that I've been fascinated with for years. And, you know, as you look at the field of astrophysics, you know, I think the James Webb Space Telescope and the discoveries that we've had recently in the news about, oh, all of our models are broken, they don't work anymore. It's really, you know, taken on a life of its own in some cases. How do you see AI being able to help with that scientific discovery and the path that we now have to go down?
The most important thing that AI can do is simply identifying what is in our images. There are very few astronomers on this planet. We are numbered in the thousands. And there are petabytes of images being taken every 24 hours by telescopes on our world, orbiting our world, and either in transit to other planets or actually orbiting other planets. And hidden in all these petabytes of data are distant galaxies doing things we don't even know the universe can do, are features on other worlds that describe amazing collisions and the stories of how our solar system formed and how it will all one day come to an end. And to piece together these stories, we need to go through the images and identify all the points of light, and whether one is a galaxy and other is a supernova remnant, just what is going on from point of light to point of light is where computers can step in. It used to be that a lot of these challenges, such as just mapping out craters on the moon, had to be done strictly by human beings working on digital tablets, drawing circle after circle after circle, millions of circles over the course of years. And that's a whole lot of PhD effort put into drawing circles on other worlds. If we can have computers going in and doing that effort for us, if we can have computers going in, identifying these scientifically interesting places to explore in the future, that saves the scientists. Now, the only trick is computers have to be taught. And so just as I have to sit down with my graduate students and train them, this is a galaxy, this is a supernova remnant, this is a planetary nebula, this is a splotch of light we can't identify that's probably an internal reflection. I have to train my computers. But whereas a human might need only 4 or 5 different examples, and then we have the ability in our mind to rotate objects and understand what they look at like when they're up close and far away, computers don't have that ability. So we have to feed software tens of thousands to millions of examples to learn from. And this is where I currently work with citizen scientists who are everyday people who can use their spare time to hang out on the internet, do some science, and be part of allowing a small number of researchers to do our jobs now, and in the future help us do even more. Because even with citizen scientists, the moon is a pretty large object compared to our planet. It's a significant fraction of its size, but it's still small compared to the entire universe. And citizen scientists aren't able to map the entirety of the moon. We're gonna have to have the help of the computers. So
Yep.
this is a collaboration at every step.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I remember participating in the SETI program and being able to put my computer online and download a little bit of software and then just watch it crunching whatever it was crunching, you know, at the time. From that perspective, what sort of ways are citizens actually able to help, and how do they get involved, and how do they use their computers that they have to be able to help?
So there are a variety of different ways for people to get involved. Just as you mentioned, you can donate your computer cycles. There is software called Boink. It comes out of the University of California, Berkeley. It was used by SETI at home. It is now used by projects in all different sciences, including folding at home, which works on protein projects. So figure out what you want to do, and you can contribute your unused cycles using Boink and all the processes that take advantage of it. But your human eyes are still in so many ways, when attached to a brain, far more useful than your computer cycles. And this is where we have a variety of projects out there that ask everyday people to look at imagery, to listen to sound, and to help us identify the features in data that can get used for analysis by researchers. We recently completed a project with my project, CosmoQuest, where we looked at the asteroid Bennu. And over the course of 92 days, we mapped out nearly 14 million features in images. All those features were out there as potential hazards for the OSIRIS-REx spacecraft. We needed to find the place that was safe for our little spacecraft to touch the surface of an asteroid and grab a sample to bring home to Earth, which has now happened. And that 92-day window we overstepped our 90-day window. That 90-day window we had was dictated by the mission parameters. And there was no training data. This was the first time this data had been reviewed. We had to use human eyeballs. And it took nearly 6,000 sets of them to get through this data. There aren't that many planetary scientists.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been otherwise possible.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That's a great way to really couple the human and the AI as you're looking at some of those things. Now, one of the things that seems in astrophysics and planetary science and those sort of things, it seems like about every 100 years we think that we've solved all the problems and everything is exactly how it's supposed to be, and then James Webb Telescope comes along and just blows all of that stuff up. AI has solved challenges in the pharmaceutical industry with discovering new medicines, discovering other techniques and scientific in the scientific fields. Do you think that AI could potentially solve string theory or whatever that next thing is going to be that's going to fix all the things that James Webb has broken?
I don't think it's going to fix string theory. The key is to look at what are the problems that AI, machine learning, all these different ways of doing multi-parameter fits to data are allowing science to progress. What computers excel at is finding patterns. We don't always know how it is that computer vision is able to make the amazing breakthroughs in, for instance, finding tumors in breast cancer imagery. We just know that it's far more effective than the human beings. We don't know what facets and images the software is keying in on to identify this is a galaxy, this is a planetary nebula. What it's going to be able to do is look at the vast databases that are being created and see patterns that point out, hey, when you have this thing, you also have this thing. And those patterns are going to give us insights that allow us to confine theories, allow us to direct our curiosity and our creativity. Software still isn't creative. It can hallucinate, but that's not going to get us a new theory of everything. What we need is it to give us the insights on where variables are related to one another that we might not have noticed. We need it to find the things that we're just not seeing. And then it's going to be the human mind and creativity that is able to say, oh, these parameters being related means this underlying physics over here has to be changed. So it's going to be a human-computer collaboration into the future.
Yeah, that's exciting. And, it's real astrophysics, I would say, is really the perfect case for that human machine teaming, because clearly AI can't do as much as a human can, and it requires so much data to train it, but it really can make your lives a lot easier when it comes to those sort of things. From a, looking at the citizen participation and, looking at how our communities can really start to engage, even more. Are you looking at specific skill sets that you're trying to bring in to help around, is it better to be an AI person or a telescope, a night sky watcher? What sort of skill sets are you looking at for the folks at home so they can understand how they can really jump in?
There is a role for everybody. Like I said, there's not that many of us and there's very little funding. So we need help anywhere we can get it. I am always looking for people with computer science skills to help with our open science, open source development. But at the same time, we don't have funding as professional researchers to build the dedicated telescopes we need to do round the clock watching of various objects that flicker and flare in the night. And this is where we're looking for the amateur astronomers to help us track objects that are changing, that are moving, and better identify these time series changes. We also need humans who have extreme detail-oriented tendencies to go through and say, this is a rock, this is a crater, this is where the lava edge is in this old eruption that occurred on Mars. By combining all these different kinds of data, we are able to do more, see more, and understand more than we could ever do alone. And honestly, volunteer computer scientists often have skill sets that those of us working in academia and the nonprofit world frankly can't afford. So please come bring us your skills, because I can't afford to pay you, but I can say thank you a lot. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Gay, I appreciate you being here. It's fantastic. Where can people get a hold of you? Hopefully your email gets flooded soon by amateur computer scientists and astronomers.
The best way to get in touch is to check out cosmoquest.org, and I can be reached. I'm Starstrider pretty much everywhere. Starstrider with a Y at gmail.com for all sorts of different ways, different opportunities, and let's move forward.
That's great. Thank you again, Dr. Gay. I appreciate it. I hope the audience enjoyed this week's show. Look forward to welcoming you back next week when we talk about a whole bunch of different AI topics. So I'll see you then. Thank you.
This has been a NowMedia Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to Legal Talk. Man, I am so excited. My name is John Mitchell. I'm the host of the show, and boy, oh boy, do we have some treats for you today. I'm very excited. I'm overjoyed. I'm overflowing with joy, actually, to have everybody out there in the audience watching the big show out there. You know, you tune in, you take time out of your day, you tune in, you're here with us, thick and thin. Man, oh man, this is not lost on me. I really appreciate appreciate that everybody out there takes time out of their valuable time out of their day. Just sit down, tune into the big show and try and catch up on some tax topics and some other legal topics. Now, by the way, this is going to be an important thing. I talked to the powers that be here at NowMedia, and not today, but maybe in the future shows, not maybe, for sure in future shows, coming pretty soon, we're going to start talking about a little bit more general legal topics, because tax